Hello, hello, everybody. Pop culture curator here. So good to see you. I'm excited. We are back for another wonderful day to review Star Trek: The Animated Series, episode 18. I know we had a little bit of a hiccup last week, but we still had a very fun and engaging stream, nonetheless. But it's so good to see Antiderivative Jill back again. I'm glad you were able to resolve your issues, Jill.
Yeah, me too. My computer just crashed, one thing after another. I have no idea. I didn't diagnose it. I just did a reinstall, but now we're good.
Aw, I hope you didn't lose any pertinent
No,
information or
no, I
stuff.
didn't. I was able to save the data first.
Okay, okay, that's definitely always that's what's most important, right?
Yes.
And Gilberto's Random Thoughts, how are you doing there, sir?
It's been a day.
Oh, it's been a day. I hope it gets better. Maybe this stream will help you feel better and cheer you up, right?
Maybe if I lived in one of those recreational states, I might.
I guess that would help. So it's still illegal where you're at.
I haven't even bothered looking into it. Because
And
when my boss accused me of doing drugs, I was like, I can just flat out look him in the eye, and go, test me right now. Let's go.
well, you're right about that.
And then they shut up right away.
Well, you may want to lose a good worker. And Scotty, how are you doing there?
I am doing well, sir. Thank you so much.
Well, it's my pleasure. Good to see you, Scotty, and all of you. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be fun tonight. It's good to get caught up on the animated series. I know we only have a handful of episodes left. We are now on the season 2, and they didn't make that many. I wanted this for those of you, if you're watching this on the rerun, welcome back. I hope you enjoy the stream. If you do, please consider clicking the like button. Maybe subscribe to my channel, and click the alert bell and share this with your friends. We're growing here, and we're hoping to add more and more content as we go. And I especially want to say hello to everybody in the chat. It looks like we already have people coming in. Hello, Lemon Pie. It's so good to see you there.
Hey, Lemon.
And Edge of Time says hooray.
Ahoy!
Hey, Edge.
Yeah, I think people are going to start coming in as we get started. What's crazy? What's crazy is I made this posting yesterday for this stream, and I hadn't realized. I guess I scheduled it for tomorrow. And about 10 minutes ago, I realized, wait a minute, and I changed it for tonight. So some people might be getting the alerts a little late, if any at all. So I apologize for that.
In a way, sometimes it's good to get the alerts right before the show starts or right around starting time. So it might be good.
Well, let me ask you this, Jill. If let's say I create the stream yesterday and post it yesterday on my StreamYards, and then today, do people get a 30-minute heads up, or is it just a heads up when I start?
Oh, that's right. That's when it comes out 30 minutes before. That's true.
No, not necessarily, because I have it like if I see a live stream there, like except for most people who keep the exact same schedule, their Jill's I have to hit notify me because except for last week when someone didn't make their thumbnail when they normally do.
But that's probably me, I imagine.
No, he's talking about me.
Oh,
no, that's Jill.
My Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, but otherwise, it notifies me as soon as you go live. As soon as if I click notify me.
Okay, because I wanted to make sure that people were getting the 30-minute notification as well.
The 30-minute one always goes out, but if you go to someone's channel, all of the live streams that will show up as pending or on their way.
Oh, gotcha. If they're scheduled, yeah. That's what I should start doing, is scheduling them ahead of time. I know some people do that.
Yes.
I heard this crazy thing about gaming the system is that if you set a broadcast for like a week in advance, but then just before you're supposed to broadcast, like an hour before, if you set it for the following week, every time it updates, more and more people get notified because you've reset the time. And then that will draw more attention. It's a way to game the system.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that.
Until people get pissed off that the time keeps changing on it.
Yeah, that's always a possibility too. Lemon Pie says, hi, PCC, Scotty and Gorilla. Hello, Lemon Pie. So good to see you here.
So this is why I have a set schedule for my streams and all that, except for my random thoughts one, because I never know when I'll have time to do them. But otherwise, I have a set schedule on most of my streams.
Yeah, you would think that that's a good idea. That's why I try to keep mine at a set schedule, except for my rumblings from the lab. So far, that's kind of been a hit and miss all over the place. But other than that, I try to keep them fairly straight. Sounds like your kids are having fun, Jill. That's always good. Keep the kids happy.
Those aren't my kids this time.
Hey,
Oh,
keep it
okay.
down in there.
Oh, there it is.
Someone call security.
Okay, so today we're going to be covering. I'm trying to shut my phone up here so it doesn't give me any alerts. Today we're going to be covering the episode. It's number 18, I believe, of the animated series out of 22 episodes, or it's season 2, episode 2, I believe. Yeah, season 2, episode 2, or episode 18 out of 22. Originally aired September 14th, 1974. And I think this is going to be a little interesting. And this is, as we all see, it's written by David Gerald, who's a veteran Star Trek writer. And Jill, is there anything you wanted to share with us?
Sure. I'm excited
Hopefully
to
I
talk
didn't.
about this one, I guess.
Go ahead. Yeah, hopefully I didn't
this
say
one
anything
is-
you were going to.
No, you didn't. This episode first aired on September 14th, 1974. And again, we have Bill Reed directing this season of the animated series, even though Hal Sutherland will still appear at the end. And yeah, like you said, this episode was written by David Gerald, who of course wrote The Trouble with Tribbles from the original series, and More Troubles from this animated series.
Absolutely.
We start with the captain's log, but if you want to read Lemon Pie, we can.
Oh, well, I think I skipped one actually. Lemon Pie says hi, Edge. And then it says Lemon Pie says maybe they were Scotty's kids that he just learned about.
He just learned about.
It's true. I have a cadre of children. They've cleaned my apartment and done the dishes. It's fantastic. Quiet down.
Saves on right. It definitely saves on labor.
I think you have a misconception about what it's like to have children.
Hey, Pop, it does not save you money on labor. Trust me on that.
Well, they're cheaper
Yeah.
than hiring people, right? So some things are free. Hey, when I was a kid, I was a remote control, so you never know what job you're gonna get.
That's true. Well, you can give them jobs and stuff, but like Gorilla said, they don't save money.
Right. And they're definitely always hungry, right?
Oh yeah,
And-
this kid here, just the other day, he ate what was it 6 packets of ramen noodles.
Wow, okay.
Wow.
Growing boy.
Is that how much my kid is about to eat? Mine has just started cooking. He'll eat all the eggs and bacon, and then we don't have anything for breakfast.
Wait! Did you win the lottery or something? Or what job do you have that you can afford eggs? Seriously,
Right.
I want to come work for you if you can afford eggs.
I was
Did you
lucky
see
to.
that?
I found some for I think it was $7 a dozen. I paid the other day. It's terrible.
Well, I just made a post on my channel there showing the egg prices at our grocery store, and they were on sale.
And I had to go to
Yeah,
3
there.
different stores before I found any at all. A lot of stores, the shelves are empty.
I bought a chicken.
Hey,
Well,
well, that's smart.
Well, considering chickens come from eggs, pretty soon chickens are going to be extinct on the store shelves as well.
Oh, wow.
That's a
Well,
whole
I don't think
separate
they're going to be
process.
extinct because we domesticate them and we.
Well, you know what I mean. They're going to be doing the same with the chickens as they are the eggs. Apparently, Bill Gates said this is all by design. Sadly,
Well, that doesn't mean he has to win. All we have to do is everybody buy chickens and put them in your backyard.
I was just thinking that today. Right? As long as my neighbors will be okay with it.
Hey, honey, do you want to go somewhere fancy for dinner? Yeah. Where do you want to go? KFC. Ooh, big spender.
Dear, this is not the future we're signing up for, but I guess.
No, it's not fair at
Demolition
all.
Man, baby.
Well, start paying attention, people. That's all.
Well, I prefer to
Okay,
think
let's-
about a more hopeful future, even if it's not like.
All right, let's
Right.
get back on topic here before people start going, no, not this shit.
No. So this, I read from this animated series, official animated series guide, and here it says about David Gerald's original concept for this episode. It says, originally developed as an idea for the original series, writer David Gerald had a very different look in mind for Bim than what appeared on screen in the animated episode. I had a sketch of how I thought we could do it on TOS, with a very stocky, sturdy actor and a little person riding his shoulders. Gerald explained. You get an alien who is taller than anybody, and then later on you found out that the two parts can be split, that they're a symbiotic relationship.
Interesting. That kind of reminds me of Master Blaster from Mad Max 3.
Yeah.
And then we start with the captain's log, stardate 7403.6. The Enterprise is on a series of exploratory and contact missions. Traveling with us as an independent observer is a member of the recently contacted alien species, Honorary Commander Ari Bim. He's from the planet Pandro in the Garo 7 system. We have taken up orbit around Delta Theta 3, a newly discovered Class M planet. A previous scouting mission has reported possible aboriginal life forms here, and the Enterprise is to investigate and report. And only now, because this mission is dangerous, does Bam want to observe the crew at work. You know, he's been hanging around the ship for weeks, but only now he wants to hang out.
Yeah, it's like 12. They visited like 12 planets, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. And hail, Captain! It's so good to see you. Greetings from the beach, says Captain Will. Enjoy yourself, sir.
And at first, it's really neat to see an alien who is very specifically, obviously alien, very different, and speaks differently, and you know, not just looking different, but in his
Right.
behavior.
I'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah,
Apparently, apparently voiced by Jimmy Doohan, right?
of course, naturally.
Now, funny story about this here. When I went to go pick up some caffeine Vivarin, the caffeine pills Vivarin there, I actually picked up some Viagra and had some side effects here. I was about to go to the doctor here, but then I saw this guy and it fixed the problem right up.
Well, I'm glad it saved you a trip to the doctor.
Yeah, so Bim is a cure for Viagra?
Yep.
Well, you're only supposed to worry if it lasts longer than 4 hours. Ben speaks about himself in the third person, calling himself this one.
Hang on a second. No, I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, wait. Did I just get Scotty speechless here? Did I just get Scotty speechless?
Let's just accept it and move on. We'll let everybody else do their science.
So Bem, he also speaks in riddles. He says things like, this one has decided that the Nexus is now. And of course, naturally, that makes us think of one thing, but do remember this was a word before that movie.
Before that horrible movie, right?
And what
was wrong with the Nexus?
What
was wrong with the...
Nothing. Well, that's a whole another story.
The end of Captain
Scotty
Kirk.
and
I'll put it that way.
Yeah, Scotty and I have a whole live stream about it that maybe I'll condense later. But the word nexus means connection. So there's some kind of connection that Bem is making, which is compelling his desire for this trip. Then there was a mysterious and suspicious way he sent those transporter controls without the transporter chief's interference. But Scotty's fine with it. He's like, okay, this looks fine. Go ahead and go.
Kyle looks a little peeved. Oh, wait.
Kyle does? Oh, I guess so.
What are you doing here?
Wait, should Scotty have picked up on that?
Yeah, he should have. He should have seen that the location was off, but he didn't. I guess it looked okay. I guess he didn't pay that close attention. He just saw that they were going to the planet, and it looks close enough.
I always wanted to see this happen on the live action show, but so oh well. Good, right? Good on the framing there.
That's not
Thanks.
Scotty to slack on his duties like that, though.
It isn't, but it has a purpose here.
Right now, we
This-
know why it happened. Right.
Yeah, Bem did this on purpose. He just detaches himself to pickpocket Kirk and Spock.
Yeah, which is not which is there's two things I got issue with here. First of all, even in water, they should have been as tight as pants as they got on. They should have felt their communicators getting yanked out and switched out.
Well, remember, they're not taking it out of the pants; they're removed off the belt, the Velcro belt.
Mhm.
Yeah, they still should have felt a little bit of a tug or that. They should have felt that.
He's just an
Impossible.
expert pickpocketer.
Pickpocketer, right?
Some
No,
pickpocketers can
I-
steal from you without even you knowing it.
No, I've been to the mall enough. I could always tell when someone's trying to get into my pocket. It's happened to me 3 times.
Well, hopefully they were good looking.
Oh, there's a reason why I carry my wallet in my front pocket.
There you go. Oh,
So I don't mind spoiling some things. It turns out that what he's doing here is he's switching them out with fakes. So that's the reason why he's doing it.
Yeah.
He's a deceptive guy. He acts polite. At the same
Yeah.
time, he acts like he's polite and caring until it's time for him to get what he wants, and then he goes for it until he's satisfied, without
mean,
regards to those around him.
right, and they'll explain later why he does it.
Mhm.
I
But
don't
it's-
want to give away too much.
Right, exactly. But it's not out of malice. It's just his nature.
All right, I got 2 issues with this guy though.
I got
First
a
of
lot
all,
of
they
issues
never-
with this guy. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just going with the 2 I'm pointing out right now. First of all, they never explain how the hell he's able to split off, this part separately like that. That seems it's almost beyond belief, No,
Absolutely.
and then
Agreed.
now, and how did the Federation not know that he could separate, or the Federation should have more information on these people than that.
Right.
did.
Well, they just met the alien species, so I guess they hadn't disclosed their biological nature to them yet.
And so he had unattended access to the transporter there, even though they just met him.
Yes. So, Lieutenant, well, is that it?
Well,
you're
that's
absolutely
what
right.
That's what we're led to
It's
believe. There was no
absolutely-
Well, didn't you say that-
examination.
Did you say they'd been on previous missions together with him? It's just that now he started working with them.
No, he's been on the ship for 12.
Yeah,
12
he's just
different
been hanging
planets.
out.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe he's been in the transporter room before, so he's able to gain their confidence.
That's true.
I
That's probably what it
still
was. And
still
he's
red
probably
flags.
been helpful because he is very polite and disarming.
But
I didn't even do that on purpose. So anyway, Lieutenant Eric's and Lieutenant Uhura are tracking an anomaly on their sensors, and Eric says, Brownian movement only, Captain, no discernible direction. So Brownian movement is a random motion of particles suspended in something like a liquid or a gas. So we're only able to guess that the godlike aliens that we meet later. See, I have to spoil stuff to make this episode make sense because it doesn't make sense in the context of what's currently happening. So anyway, so we could guess that the godlike aliens that we meet later are gaseous since they don't appear to be liquid. So
Apparently, so yeah.
So that's the
So-
Brownian movement that they find out here.
So in other words, another godlike
That's right.
species, another one.
And we're not
Another
done.
one.
And we're not done here, right? We'll be seeing a lot more in the future.
Spock even guesses at this possibility that there's some kind of intelligent life, while Kirk also intelligently considers that it could just be the weather.
And I want to catch up really quick. Lemon Pie says, hello there, Captain. And Captain says, Lemon. And Lemon Pie says, the trick is to haggle with the chicken. Captain Finity says, I think that's fire. And Captain Finity says, the trick is not to mind the pain. And Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious says, Jill.
Hi, Matt G.
Oh, is that Matt G?
And-
Hey, Matt G.
Good to see you, Matt G.
Hey, Matt.
And
I don't
Captain
know
Finity
why he's incognito.
Captain Finity says, by the way, after and only after this live stream is over, everyone back. Yo. Captain Finity says to my place at Studio C. Okay, Captain, sounds good. Sean Carter, good to see you. Welcome. Sean Carter says, "Hail, everyone."
Hey, Sean.
All right, everybody's coming in. Lemon Pie says, "Sounds like a plan, Captain." Lemon Pie says, "Hi, Sean." Sean Carter says, "I'll be working on the Enterprise model and have some soldering to do." That sounds like fun.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe we'll see some pictures of that, Sean, when you get done, or video. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious says LOL, and Supercalifragilistic says LOL. Sean Carter says hi, Lemon Pie. Lemon Pie says all units in the lockout for a pair of trousers. All units in the lookout for a pair of trousers. There it is. Kirk desensitized to feel hands in his pockets. Ooh, maybe Kirk's been me too'd. Sean Carter says Kirk is. There it is. Lemon
No.
Pie says all units on the lookout for a pair of trousers. Now he's correcting his spelling there. Wow,
Yeah.
split poll.
Okay, then I
Split
got a
poll
question.
so far.
Okay, I got a question. Was he being Me Too'd or was he doing the Me Too'd?
Being me too'd. Time's up.
Okay.
I heard time's up or time's up.
No, if you want the aliens me tooing somebody, you're looking at TNG with Riker. That more happens there. But he allows it to happen. You know, he's into it too. But
And Sean says, Hitchhiker's reference, maybe.
And pop culture, it says that the poll is complete on YouTube.
Does that mean
oh,
closed?
that happened again. That's really frustrating. Sorry about that.
Just so you know.
Thank you. And okay. All right. I don't know what I did, but okay.
You didn't do anything. It just seems to be bugged on your channel somehow.
It doesn't like me for some reason.
Mm-mm. Well, Spock is interested enough to make note that the life on the planet is younger than he expected, which makes sense if the life was implanted there by the godlike species we're going to meet later. Bem finds other life on the planet, so he takes it upon himself to abandon the landing party and investigate on his own. He separates himself to many parts so he can more easily get through the plants. And once he gets through...
I like the idea of the fact that he's a colony creature and he can split into different parts. I guess the part that makes it fantasy is the fact that the parts can hover and fly around, I guess, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I could only maybe buy him being able to float around, except that he can even detach his head. So that's kind of weird to me, because in order to believe that, I'd need to understand more about his biology, because if he can remove his head, then what kind of spinal cord system does he have to control his brain to his body?
Absolutely. Or maybe he's mechanical. Maybe he's not, maybe he's not a living being.
Yeah, right.
Well,
but this episode doesn't have any time for all of that. Explanation.
True.
which makes it a big issue.
And Browning motion, says Sean. Of course, says Sean. This one is for Mexican Iron Man, says Sean. I like Mexican Iron Man. He's cool.
He's pretty cool. This one is for Mexican Iron Man. What does that mean? And in case of necessity, though, okay, so I did find one thing about an animal that can decapitate itself. And it's a kind of slug that can decapitate itself and then regenerate its head. But it cannot put the old one back on. However, in some cases, the slug the decapitated head can then grow into another slug. Can grow another body.
Interesting. Completely separate body.
Yeah. So that's weird.
And
That's
we
the
have
only kind of animal I can find that can do this.
a burning question from Captain Finity. Where is Anton Chekhov?
He's in training, right? I thought we said that he went back to school.
Right. Weapons training.
They threw his ass in the brig.
Anton Chekhov is writing novels. Pavel Chekhov would be the one who's in training.
Oh, right. Yes. Anton Chekhov. Well, that one hasn't been born yet. Oh, man. Don't make me think about him. Crap.
Another hole in the plot.
No,
Nope.
well, that's a different universe, but still, that's a real person, so that makes me sad.
Anton Yelchin is the actor who played
Yes,
Chekhov.
I know. That's what I'm thinking of, right?
We're mixing all our Chekhov.
No, I'm not mixing
Poor guy.
anything up. I know what I was thinking.
Okay.
I was thinking. I signed the poster at the Star Trek convention for his parents that they had out
Oh.
for everybody to sign, and so I My
Paid your
name's on there.
respects.
I did. Just because I don't like the movie, you know, the actor is cool.
Hmm.
So anyway, where was I here?
Something about Bem doing something stupid and people falling for it.
Oh, just taking his head off.
Just
Well, it's
taking his
not
head off.
Well, I mean, it's not his fault. He can take his head off and float around. That's just how he was written.
That's his nature. Hey,
Mhm.
Bem, go split up.
Mhm. So, yeah.
Wait, I've got an idea. I'm going to try.
Meanwhile, in the raptor paddock,
Sorry, go ahead. Here's what I'm gonna do, everybody. I'm gonna repost the poll and see what happens.
Okay. So this is the first episode, I think, that Lieutenant Uhura and Lieutenant Ress are on the bridge at the same time. And
Amorous, that's the cat lady, right?
yeah, right there.
They totally underused her. Like, I will totally would love to see them use her more. There's
Me
just
too.
something about her there that's just kind of I don't even remember.
It's just fun to have more aliens on the bridge sometimes.
There's something about the cat lady that almost makes you want to be a furry. Like that specific character.
almost.
So,
Okay, I reposted the same
yeah.
poll. So everybody, if you voted, I ask that you please vote again, and let's see if this poll seems to last without closing it. So I'll see what happens. I guess it's the first time I'm trying this.
Oh, it's an experiment. We'll see
Yes.
what the
Thank
results
you.
are.
Thank you for your patience, everybody. Sean Carter says the model I'm building is for me. And Captain Infinity says, "Oh, Scotty, well done. You picked up an absolutely deliberate mistake." Captain Infinity says, "Oh, the boy's working hard on that Playmobil Enterprise, complete with a Chekhov figure." Yes, Chekhov. Yes, let's not forget Chekhov.
So, Uhura realizes Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock are lost via the scans and are probably in trouble. And so she takes command for the second time in the animated series. She carries out Kirk's orders from earlier when he said, "Now, if there's any trouble of any kind, beam up immediately." And
But they won't show her sitting in Kirk's chair. You think it's because she wants to be able to get back and forth between his chair and her console?
Yeah, she does. Well, she's more taking charge of the situation than actually assuming acting captain. That's never like a thing that that's actually said or done, but she does exercise authority as the highest ranking on the bridge to say what should be done next. Even though Scotty outranks her, he is not currently on the bridge.
True.
So that's how I figure it.
Well, that could be forgiven because look how many times Anson Kim took Night Watch a couple times on Voyager.
I'm sorry. Sean Carter, I meant Mexican Iron Man. Oh, duh. Sorry.
Oh, you're building a model for Mexican Iron Man. Wow,
Yeah,
lucky,
we definitely want to see
guy.
that.
So, okay, the animated series book talks about Uhura taking charge again. Nichols Uhura was denied the opportunity to command on the Enterprise during TOS because producers did not think the audience would believe a woman capable of such a thing. The animated series, however, quickly made up for the oversight, as writers gave the communications officer the con twice. While her first time in command only came due to the male crew members being compromised in the Lorelei signal, this time Uhura was given command due to being the highest ranking officer on the bridge. Even more impressively, she asserts herself when her superior officer, Scotty, wants to remain on the planet to search for Kirk and Spock. She supersedes his wishes and brings him and Sulu back on board the ship because those were Kirk's orders. If any trouble arose on the planet. And that is the moment that Kirk and Spock realize that their communicators are fake, while Bem is captured by the lizard people. I don't know. What was their name for them?
They
don't
weren't
have
mentioned.
I don't recall.
I'm looking now. I don't remember either.
I don't know either.
That seems
My
strange.
book is in the other room. Otherwise, I would look it up. But
Go grab it.
well,
grab
that would
it.
take approximately a minute. Okay, I'll be right back.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was going to just check Memory Alpha.
Well, I'm going to
Oh.
read this really quick here, a little bit of trivia while Jill's doing her homework. This episode was originally developed for the first season. However, it was postponed because David Gerald and DC. Did you already read that about DC Fontana were disappointed with Gene Roddenberry's frequent changes to the script? Did Jill already read that? No, I think she was
I
reading more
can't
about how
remember.
they were going to. I think she was reading about how they were visualizing trying to do BEM in real life. But it says, yeah, it was postponed because David Gerald and DC Fontana were disappointed with Gene Roddenberry's frequent changes to the script. Roddenberry added the idea of the godlike entity to the script. Gerald was originally disappointed with this because he felt the idea had been used enough times on Star Trek. However, he eventually became satisfied with his own final script.
All right. Here's some trivia for you. What does BEM stand for?
Does it stand for something? Is it an amalgam or something?
Oh, wasn't it originally or something in reference to bug-eyed monsters?
Yep.
I think you said that last week, Gorilla. So I'm not actually saying it in. I'm just remembering what you said last week.
I don't think
Are
I
you
was
s-
the one that said it.
Are you saying within the Star Trek universe?
I
Or are you
don't know.
just saying in real life that's what it means?
I just got told that.
Yeah, ditto. That's how it turned out for me as well. I think it's out of universe. I don't think that actually is the for the alien.
Yeah, because now that I think about it, I don't think his eyes look very bug-eyed. I don't know. And I'm looking now to see if that was part of what David Gerald had in mind, but I don't seem to see that. And I'm looking also for the name of the aliens.
They're referred to as Aborigines in the
Oh,
in the
so
episode.
just okay. So like just natives.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Would this be a violation of the Prime Directive?
What part of it?
Yes.
All of
Okay.
it?
Hey, I'm back.
Hello again. Hello. Welcome back.
Yes, it is. Kirk complains
Yeah,
about that too in this episode.
my ears say welcome back also. He just jumped in there. Yeah, go yes. All right.
It
And
absolutely is.
According to the animated series DVD audio commentary, the title of this episode, BEM, is an old science fiction term meaning bug-eyed monster. This episode's author, David Gerald, selected the acronym during production of the original series for use as both the title of this episode and an alien featured herein, simply because he believed it would be fun to have an actual BEM in Star Trek, though that wish was not fulfilled for the original series, and the character of BEM was never intended to be true to its namesake.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Cool. That's some good history. Yeah, it comes from old science fiction monster movie stuff.
Yeah, originally it was developed for the first season of TOS, but I guess it just didn't work out.
We couldn't get Master Blaster.
Well, okay, so there is no name for these lizard people. They're not Gorn, but I don't know what they are. Anyway, Spock says about them, these Aborigines appear to be in a late primitive state. Obviously intelligent, they seem to have a basic language and social structure. I would assume fairly well-developed mores and traditions as well. So, not knowing BEM's powers, Kirk knows he needs to rescue him. So it turns out that BEM didn't want to be rescued.
First, I would just left him on the planet after I found out he could save himself if he got in the situation. I would just left him.
Yeah, he's kind of a jerk, right?
We're out of here. All right.
But this is how his culture observes other species. So to him, this is normal.
Maybe it's like a test.
Exactly, it's a test. He's not.
Yeah, here's your test. Here's your test. Find a ride back home.
Right. I wouldn't blame the crew. Well, I kind of would, but
yeah, it'd be like the same lines of we were at a family reunion there. My aunt told them a couple times, "Hey, we're gonna be leaving pretty soon. We're gonna be leaving pretty soon." Nobody was getting in the car. Finally, she told everybody, "You have 10 seconds to get in the car. I'm taking off." And my uncle barely had his foot. My uncle only had one foot in the car when she took off.
Wow.
she did warn him.
They got like 3 warnings, and then they said 10 seconds. I'm leaving, and that's when everybody rushed to the car.
Good to see you, Euler Greg. I'm glad you stopped by. Euler Greg says cheers.
Euler.
Lemon Pie says Euler.
Hey, Euler.
And Lemon
Yeah,
Pie
that's
says
the weird
cheers.
thing. Kids don't listen until you start counting down. You don't even have to threaten them with anything. Just the counting works.
Right, it's the countdown. They know that you're not bluffing anymore. Euler Greg
Yeah,
says not a Gorin.
no,
And
no,
hey, Lemon, go ahead.
no. They'll test you one time to see what happens if they get the 3. They'll test you one time. If you don't follow through, then they know they can get away with it.
Right, which is why it's serious, because you have to follow through then.
And Sean Carter
Or
says,
otherwise lose your
Pop,
reputation and respect.
exactly. And Sean says, Pop Caser just sent you a couple pics via Twitter. It's not the one I'm working on, but it will end up looking similar. Same kit. Thank you, Sean. And if it's okay with you, Sean, I'll post those pictures later on here in the stream. Thank you.
But Pop Culture's right. He's observing not just the aliens, but also Starfleet. He never communicated any of this with Starfleet, though, or Captain Kirk. He just did whatever he wanted to do. And then, so as a result, the lizard people catch Kirk and Spock too. And so they do the classic, they make the classic phrase, how come we always end up in situations like this? It's a very cartoony thing. But
Oh,
I
and
guess
it's another fine mess you've gotten me into.
Yes, exactly. And that was an attempt at humor by having Spock reciprocate Kirk's sarcasm with what would be considered Vulcan humor, because Spock answers with the word fate, which Vulcans do not believe in.
They don't believe in bait.
Fate.
Oh,
Excuse me, fate.
I swear you said bait, like they're baiting them in.
Oh, I'm glad you asked that, because I meant to say fate.
Yeah, but of course, by hearing shit, by hearing a shit also.
So the Bem returns the working communicators?
Yes, he does. He didn't tell anybody about any of his plans. But anyway, he finds a way to be disappointed in Kirk and Spock for not being able to escape. He is not impressed with them. But when called out on it, he does return the phasers and communicators. He says he didn't use them to escape himself because, sir, this one does not demean oneself by the use of casual violence to accomplish goals. But you may demean yourself if you wish. And of course, that's easy for someone to say when they're able to just slip through any situation by taking themselves apart.
It reminds me of, sorry.
Reminds you of what?
Reminds me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's like, are you saying you could get out of those cups at any time? Only when it was funny.
No, yeah, right. When they're in the sink.
Yeah.
As Spock says, he's a colony creature, and for me, it makes no sense for an advanced civilization to not understand the usefulness of self-defense, and that's the attitude that Bem seems to have. But the colony creature part is more interesting to me because this is a real life phenomenon that does occur here on Earth. I found out about this one colony creature that lives in the ocean called zooids. These are individual animals, part of a colony, who connect themselves to each other to make a larger organism, where each zooid performs a different function, just as different parts of your body perform different functions, like digestive and everything. Bem also reveals that he didn't escape to test the capabilities. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, right. Just like Pop Culture was saying, Bem didn't escape so that he could test the Enterprise crew to see whether they could rescue him. And Kirk doesn't like the idea of being experimented on like an animal. But that does show that the Pandronians are like scientists, just trying to learn about other civilizations. They just do it in a different way. a more underhanded way. Nonetheless, this particular way is very dangerous also. So Kirk wants to arrest him.
I would too.
First, I would have just left him. Here,
But
go rescue yourself. Hey, he endangered the crew there. He was disobeying direct orders there. He was not following regulations. Just leave his ass there.
And so I don't know. I think arresting him is the right idea because we can't leave him there with the other creatures who are already there.
Why not?
it would. What is it? What do they call it?
Prime Directive.
Contaminate the society.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, transport him to the southern hemisphere and let the creature stay in the northern hemisphere.
Doesn't sound very Starfleet to me.
Yeah, it's not. But I don't think Gorilla wants to.
No, I know. This
Like,
is more metal than Starfleet.
yeah,
Gorilla, I think.
Gorilla is more metal than Starfleet. Yes, that is a good way.
Metal. All right, metal.
Like metal. Metal. A style of Earth music that was popularized in the 1980s.
So
Yeah,
now
I
the
don't listen to
novel,
metal.
But there is a thing called it.
and you are it.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's not a negative.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, Gorilla, you've heard of heavy metal, right?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I like when I'm listening to music, I want to be able to understand what I'm listening to.
Oh,
Oh,
that-
right, the lyrics.
Yeah, I can't stand music when all you hear is into the microphone. Like, what are you saying? What kind of message are you trying to send? Like,
I'm
can't
mad. I'm
understand
pissed,
you.
and I can't take it anymore.
If sports are a surrogate for war, then I would say that heavy metal music is a surrogate for aggression. Mosh pits aren't necessarily bad.
They're not. I like them, and
Yeah, but
that's why when I was a kid, I had the little booklets that came with the CD that had all the lyrics. So it doesn't matter that I don't understand them; just read them.
That's not the
There you go.
point.
Yeah, I guess I get it though.
You want to sing along, right, Gorilla? Is that what it is? You want to sing along with it?
Yes.
So now the anomaly is covering up so much of the planet that they can't get any readings on the ship anymore. So the ship can't do anything for them. On the planet, Kirk, Spock, and Bam are trying to get away from the village. But the lizard people find them, and as Kirk and Spock are about to fire on the lizard people, the godlike entity I was talking about earlier finally shows up to paralyze everyone and stop them from using their weapons on what they call their children, the lizard people. So Kirk admits to his mission of studying the planet and its life, and the entity is so annoyed about Kirk studying the lizard people, just as annoyed as Kirk was annoyed at being studied like animals by Bem.
David Gerald suggested that Nichelle Nichols do the voice of the entity because of her popularity with Star Trek fans, and she did a good job.
I think so too. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Nemesis Venus is at work. Got my earbud in. I'll be lurking. Hail, Nemesis. So glad you're here.
Ahoy,
Also,
Nemesis.
hail, everyone. Hope you're all doing amazing. We are. Thank you. And Skogly, good to see you, Skogly. A lot of it's about self-empowerment and politics. That is so true. And Nemesis of Eden says, metal is still alive and well. I support the metal community. Our messages are better than most rap lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Then obviously he has not listened to Tom McDonald.
I'm not sure who that is. I know who Ronald McDonald is.
No, he's a Canadian rap. He's a conservative, or I wouldn't say conservative, but he's a libertarian, right-leaning libertarian rapper from Canada.
Okay. So
That's
it's rap.
living in the United States.
Okay. So does that mean the lyrics are spelled correctly since he's from Canada?
Well, hell if I know.
Okay. Skogly says, or it's horror imagery.
Oh,
Like juggalos?
I'm gonna just jump right over that.
Jump over
Here,
what?
I can mention what the book says about this entity. Fascinating. The alien entity was similar to TOS's companion in Metamorphosis, especially its on-screen visualization, female voice, and even the music used during its scenes. Threads can also be found in the Star Trek The Next Generation episode Justice, in which another god takes issue with the Enterprise's away team conduct during its interaction with its children.
Yeah,
Well,
with Justice that gets an F just for the plain and simple fact is they didn't let the people fulfill their prime directive motive with Wesley
Right.
when he violated
We could
their
have been done with
laws.
them right there.
Yeah.
Should have beamed him out to space.
Well, yeah. It was
No,
just a weird episode with everybody half naked.
I didn't have a problem with that. That wasn't my problem.
Of course not.
My problem is Wesley was sentenced to death, but yet they did not fulfill it. They all fuck the prime directive. We'll beam you out, Wesley. You're good.
Aha, we were just kidding and beamed him to deep space.
Yeah, but the prime directive, I don't think it actually applies because the laws that were broken weren't the Ito's laws. They were just the laws of the actual godlike entity. So I think the godlike entity cancels out the prime directive. I think anyway.
No, he just didn't want. He just no. The guy he's like, they said they'd leave. He goes, fine, just take him with you. Just get the hell out of here. You don't want to deal with it. Now, if they said we'll be back, we'll fulfill. I think if they will have said no, we're not going to leave them alone. Blah blah blah. If they have been their true arrogant selves like they normally are, then they've been like, then they will have fulfilled them with their laws.
It would have been a much shorter episode if they would have just taken him.
Oh, that's
It
true.
was kind of a pointless episode. Anyway, we're not talking about that episode today.
Thank goodness.
But I guess in a way, sometimes it's better to remember a bad episode that makes this one a little better. And around
That's true. Think of something worse.
Oh no, Bem is worse.
well, opinions.
Yeah, my opinion. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, you don't have to be sorry.
Thank you.
So here, I think this is the first time that well, no, it's not. Of course, it's not. But
First time that what?
No, never mind.
Okay,
No, cross that out.
I'm good. Okay.
Actually, I'm just going to read what the book says.
Sure.
Fans will instantly recognize Tiberius as Captain Kirk's middle name. Oh, right. Okay. The reason why this is mentioned is because Bem says Tiberius like a bunch of times in this episode. That's why it's even mentioned in this book. So while his name is clearly established as James T. Kirk on TOS, just ignore the initial on headstone from where no man has gone before, where it's an R. His middle name was never used until Bem. Oh, this is the first time? Okay, that's weird.
This is what I mean. It's the first time it was listed on screen.
Oh, surprisingly.
And then not again until I guess the Undiscovered Country.
6? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which makes this canon, if you think about it, right? Even though
Yes.
Gene Roddenberry said it wasn't.
He said yesteryear was canon. So to me, he just said that all of the animated series is canon. Can't just pick one.
Oh, gotcha.
But he did. That's one of the contentious points about Roddenberry's views on canon, which is a whole discussion.
Yeah. Surprisingly, the name was not created for this episode, but came to be at a fan convention when Gerald blurted out Tiberius in response to being asked what Kirk's middle name stood for. A conversation followed with Fontana and Roddenberry, and it became Star Trek history.
So wait,
Nice.
some fan pissed him off by bugging him what his middle name is, and finally just shouted out a name there.
Tiberius, damn it! I told you, Tiberius. Now stop asking.
Well, that's the way it made it sound. Is that he kept getting asked, and finally he just snapped his and said the first thing that came to his mind.
Yes. And like Scotty said, it would be another 17 years before Tiberius was uttered again in Star Trek 6,
Because
the Undiscovered Country.
Because in what was the episode? Was it No Man Gone Before that they had James R. Kirk on the tombstone?
Right.
Yes.
James Roy Kirk. No, just kidding.
Hey,
Roger,
see how
Roger.
easy that is.
Roger, Roger.
So Eric thinks he might have found Kirk and Spock, so Scotty's going to go down to that location. And some little huts.
Yep.
Yep, that's Tuts.
Thus disarmed by the entity, Kirk, Spock, and Bem have been recaptured and are back in their cages. Bem is further unimpressed by Captain Kirk's abilities. Bem says this failure means that Pandro will have no interest in humanity any further. He wishes them luck and leaves them behind without freeing them. Unable to directly communicate with the entity, Spock has the idea to connect the two communicators in a series so that the communicators give off a higher energy burst, which somehow works.
I know it's a little sketchy, but I guess it works.
Right. Somehow putting those two communicators together lets them talk to the godlike entity.
Yeah, I know, right?
And somehow, yeah. I don't know. Ask David. He's still alive.
Well, that's true. You're right about that. I wonder if he's on Twitter or some way of contacting him. Orla Greg says Kirk, the original Mr. T, and Orla Greg says Rock On Nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
I pity the fool.
He apologizes to the entity and promises to leave once he's discovered Bem. And this is made easier because Scotty arrives with the rescue team. And so they're told only to fire. Kirk tells them only to fire on the lowest setting of the stun setting on the lizard people, which is exactly what they have to do.
Here's where I had an issue with it, with this scene here, because he said, "Oh, do not fire unless you absolutely have to." They don't even give warnings to stop or go or to get out of here or anything. They just start firing.
Mm-hmm. And right, you're absolutely right, because Spock said earlier they have a language. Nobody ever tries to talk to these poor lizard people. I agree with you, actually, Grilly. Wow. Anyway, Kirk is angry at Bem for forcing him to violate the Prime Directive against the lizard people, and the entity is subsequently angry at Kirk for continuing to interfere with the planet after promising not to. But Kirk has a good answer. He says, "We could not leave one of our own behind. It is our responsibility to take care of our own, just as it is your responsibility to take care of yours. We could not leave him here where he might further interfere with your children." And so everything's resolved. Bem is now disappointed in himself so much that he no longer wants to exist. But the entity, seriously, that happens in this Saturday morning episode. Seriously, he is really upset with himself. He's realized he's done wrong. He did. But the entity says, "Yes, you have erred, but if you disassemble, you cannot learn from your error. Errors demand recognition so that they will not be repeated."
Yes.
Bem.
I think that's the only positive thing that I took away from this episode.
Well, it shows that he really did regret what he did.
Yeah.
So he did take it seriously.
Yeah. What's that? That's Scotty. The only positive thing you took away from this is that he wanted to self-delete himself.
No. The sage wisdom of the godlike creature that says that
I thought
mistakes
you,
must be learned from.
Oh, I thought you meant that the positive thing was he wanted to self delete himself.
No, not at all. I don't like Bem, but his continued survival pleases me.
Yeah, me too. And he also wonders at punishment too. And so the entity responds to that. Ben wonders why his crimes don't deserve punishment. So the entity says, punishment? What is punishment? Revenge? Intelligent beings need no revenge. Punishment is necessary only where learning cannot occur without it. You are beyond that. My children here are not. That is why you must leave, so as not to corrupt their development with concepts that they are not yet ready for. And about this, the book says, somebody said it much more brilliantly in something recent I saw. David Gerald said, evolution only has one tool, failure.
Oh no.
Introducing God. Oh, yeah? Go ahead.
What year was that written?
I don't know. These interviews happened whenever this book was written. Let me see.
I would assume that this predates what I'm thinking, something that I don't really want to name.
Lemon Pie says, hail Nemesis. And Dalek451, so good to see you. Dalek says, evening all.
Hey, Dalek.
Hey, Dalek.
Yeah, so good to see you, Dalek. Hope you're doing well. Lemon Pie says, Dalek, hi there. And Dalek says, been taking a short break from social media the last 2 days. Well, we hope you're doing well, Dalek.
Welcome
And
back.
thank you. Yeah, welcome back, and thank you for stopping by.
I don't know when this book was published. I didn't say. Oh, wait, it's in the back. 2019.
Oh, then it was in reference to what I was thinking, which would be a Star Wars property, and I don't want to mix my sci-fi.
Okie doke. So the book continues. Introducing God to the story allowed Gerald to deliver a new message to TAS's younger viewers, as well as the older ones. Bam was ready to disassemble, cease to exist for his error in judgment against Kirk. Yet, how would he ever grow if he did not learn from his mistake? Basically, we as human beings, if we're not learning from our mistakes, we're doomed to keep making those mistakes, Gerald continued. So for a God to say, no, your mistake is all right, what did you learn from it? This is a great lesson, not just for children, but grown-ups too. Yeah, we all screw up. We stumble, fumble, and bumble our way through life. The trick is learning to not do that again. The God figure was encouraging them and everyone else, be more responsible.
Yep.
And Kirk puts the planet on quarantine, and that's that.
And that is that.
What? One more thing about the entity in this episode. It says here. Oh, yeah, this is okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh no, actually, it's just the same thing. Actually, pop culture already said about why Nichelle Nichols was chosen to be the godlike entity. So I'm not going to repeat.
She was picked because she did all the women's voices.
Major Barrett, yeah.
Right.
What? Major Barrett get kicked out because she couldn't do a sweet voice like that, or what?
Well, this is
And
the
they seem to
second episode.
rotate.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess they rotate. And since Uhura was already playing a big role in this episode, or, a bigger than normal role than for her normally, then
I'm guessing, right? If Major, I'm guessing, it's just a guess, but I'm guessing if the character of Nurse Chapel doesn't appear in the episode, then Major Barrett is not there doing side voices, possibly.
that's more than likely. And I'm wondering if she appears in any of season 2.
That's a good
Oh,
question.
wait, David Gerald does say something here about it. I had not thought about putting God in the story, Gerald explained. It was Gene's show, and if that's what he thought he was going to make a better story, make it a better story. All right, Gene, if that's what you want. I wrote that part for Nichelle Nichols. I was already becoming very aware through my friendship with Dorothy Fontana and other people that women were being overlooked and treated unfairly. We were still in that era where female writers had to use their initials to pass as men. I
Yes.
decided early on that I did not like that, and I was going to include and hire as many women as I can to break down that barrier.
And good for him for doing that.
Mm-hmm. And so then we rate the episode.
Yes,
Like,
Sean Carter says, "Hey, Dalek and Lemon Pies, Dalek. I tried to do that, and I ended up slipping into a stream or two. Anyhow, sure. If you'd like to tell us what you think, Joe, what do you think?
yeah, I give this one. I don't know, because I kind of fluctuate between a C plus and a B minus. I can't pick really. I'm kind of undecided. The character design is kind of cool, kind of outrageous, kind of silly. Even though I love to see alien attempts at imagination, at alien designs that are not like us. So that, but this one, like we've been explaining, doesn't really explain his actual biology. So it's cool that he's different, but a little bit more about it would have been nice.
Well, that's true.
But it was good commentary on why Starfleet normally tries to follow the Prime Directive and the absolute mayhem that occurs when someone tampers with that, like Bem does here.
And this is the ship that Sean Carter is putting together.
Nice.
Wow.
Let's see here. Get a little better look here. Yeah, that is sweet. Oh, it's got live warp nacelles and everything. That is nice.
It's gorgeous. I'm jealous of Mexican Iron Man. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm glad that he Polar Lights is still making those. I had a Jupiter 2 from Lost in Space once.
Very cool.
And Gorilla, what do you think about this episode, Ben?
Well, there's only one thing saving it from an absolute F. I
Okay.
mean, you got them. It's an ugly ass creature. That's not enough to drag it down there. But you got Kirk, who's supposed to be on high alert there. They're not noticing he's getting pickpocketed right out of his front pocket, pretty much, or in this case on belt. You got Scotty not realizing that they screwed up the transporter when they knew someone was messing with it there. They didn't explain the creature, how he's able to separate all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. He's purposely put them into danger. They purposely violated the Prime Directive, even though it's been well established all the way back to a private little war there. I was bored watching this here. There's only one thing that saved it from an F, and up to a D minus. And that's because I watched a show that you kindly asked me not to mention on your streams before this. I was like, okay, oh God, that's the only thing that brought this episode up was I watched a complete shit show that's ranked the third worst show ever made that brought this episode up.
Oh, and I guess that's a good thing, huh?
I don't know if it's a good thing, but
You kind of have a point. The Starfleet officers in this episode are not as as bright as they normally are in some cases.
like
Well, that's true too.
He should immediately check the landing coordinates, see where he's beaming them down to, and realize, he's beaming them right over a lake.
Unless they trusted him, they thought that he knew what he was doing, and that's why they didn't bother looking. But then that's like what Jill says. That's not very efficient, right? That's, as far as doing their duty.
No, well, even so they knew that an inexperienced person who doesn't even have any training on the machine, who's to say that'd be like me taking a trainee, going in there, him watching you do your job for 5 minutes, and then also there you go, have at it.
Yeah, and afterwards, only afterwards was Kirk like, well, next time, make sure either Scotty or another technician sets the coordinates.
Right.
They should have double checked that in the first place.
And Scotty, what did you think about this episode? Pray tell.
Hard F. This is the worst episode of Star Trek, the animated series, and typically, I'm glad I saw it. I'm not going to knock it for having seen it, because this has been a great sort of journey going through the animated series. But everyone except for the god creature in it, which is an overused trope in a lot of Star Trek, the crew of the Enterprise is dumb. They are unobservant. They are careless. They are absolutely ridiculous. They are flagrantly disregarding Starfleet regulations. I don't understand the motivations of BEM. I'm like, no, everything about this is just, it doesn't feel like a Star Trek episode. Everyone's just sort of bumping into corners, breaking things down, getting captured several times over. Even the voice acting in this one, there's a one where Spock says fascinating, and it sounds like he is literally phoning it in. No, this is an episode that if you are to watch, I would recommend some form of inebriate while you're watching it, so that it will exit your brain quicker.
Well, that's one way to look at it.
This is like the only F that I give to anything pre 2005. Most of the time, there's something that I will enjoy. This was just frustrating. This was like getting into a hot car with shorts on in the middle of July.
And let me get caught up here with the chat really quick, and then I'll give my review.
Wait a second. Am I being nicer than Scotty on this?
Yeah, but you know what? I liked hearing him speak this way.
Right, it's totally fine, right? And I don't blame him. I understand his perspective.
Thanks, guys.
Me too.
It's an F plus for saying Tiberius, I guess.
F plus for saying
too many times.
Yeah, Tiberius.
Too many times. So they really made sure they said it. Dalek 451 says, "Hey, I know what you mean, Lemon Pie. YouTube is especially hard to stay away from." Lemon Pie says, "What's an alien lizard's favorite snack? Popcorn." And Sean Carter says at Antiderivative Jill, "If you like your favorite part more than you dislike your least favorite part, then B minus. Otherwise, C minus."
C plus. I give it a
C plus. That's what. Yes, Sean Carter corrected. Yes.
Yeah.
And Captain says flagrantly disregarding Starfleet regulations. That's outrageous.
I'm too soft on the animated series, I think.
But it's
and I would have to say, go ahead. I would have to say, I guess I would give the episode a D. I like the fact that it's obviously Star Trek and it's TAS, and I think, in my opinion, I think that what the script suffers from is too many rewrites or too many cooks in the kitchen. Right. And I think that's what usually when you start seeing things that aren't cohesive and don't quite connect the box, don't quite connect. I think it was too rewritten. It would have been nice to see what the original story was before all the hands started getting in and changing it. Maybe
that would be cool if there was like a published version of original drafts or something like that for the scripts. That would be cool,
right? Like, or at least David Gerald, right? If he would publish his original scripts.
Scotty had a good idea, was to give the main character more motivation. What is BEM all about? What's he trying to do?
Right. Was it them? Right. Maybe then having to interject because apparently they didn't originally. Gerald did not want the godlike creature, so maybe having to kind of crowbar that in, maybe that kind of affected the plot, made it more disjointed.
Mm-hmm. Probably
because they had to justify the reason for it. And I noticed here, Sean Carter. Okay, yes, I did. I caught up in the chat. Everybody, if you voted in the chat, I appreciate it. If you vote in the poll, I'm going to go ahead and close it. Right, it'll actually let me end it this time. We got 5 votes. Okay, so let me see if I can do this without messing it up. There we go. And by the way, for all of you that did vote, I do appreciate that very much. Thank you. And if you're watching this on the rerun, I hope you enjoyed our stream tonight. We seem to have got through this one really quickly, which usually tells us that it probably wasn't a very good episode, if that's the case, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was there to talk about, really?
Yeah, because I was going to say, the better the episodes are, usually the longer we go on and talking about it, right?
So yeah, exactly. I had more fun learning about zooids and sticking together and slugs that chop off their own heads.
That was more entertaining than the episode itself. Mm-hmm. So we got 5 votes. So we got a 40% that said A plus to A minus, 40% B plus to B minus, 20% for D plus to F minus. And well, everybody was pretty forgiving today. We got no C plus. Oh well, Actually, okay, I see. So we got 1, 2. I'm guessing 2 votes for A plus to A minus, 2 votes for B plus to B minus, and 1 vote for D plus to F minus. If that makes any kind of sense. Okay, so before we plug our channels, I want to say thank you to everybody who came along in the chat and came and visited. I really appreciate it. I know we had Lemon Pie here, we had Edge of Time, and the wonderful Captain Infinity, and Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, which I guess you said is Matt G. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, Sean Carter, thank you, and Sean, thank you, Sean, for sharing that picture with us.
Yeah.
And see, like, all right, Lemon Pie said that, and I know Scogli was here, and I know Euler Greg was here. Wow, what a great turnout! Thank you guys.
Cheers.
And Dallas is here.
Sorry.
Lemon
Oh no,
pies.
you're fine. So there we go. Lemon Pie says, so this wasn't a hidden Ben of an episode.
Yeah, that's what I
No,
was
I'm
laughing
afraid
at.
not. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, apparently it was. But hey, we always have next week, which it's got to be better. So
It
look
is
at it
good.
that way,
I
right?
think it's going to be better. It's the Practical Joker episode.
Yes, yes. I
Oh
can't wait. I'm excited.
God!
It may
Automatic F has Joker.
Automatic.
It's an automatic F. I'm not even watching it.
You know
It's an
what? It
automatic
might
F.
not be. Well, you know what? It is season 2, and Dorothy Fontana isn't around anymore.
Well, that's true too. I haven't seen it in a long time, so it'll be a different perspective for me.
Or if she is, she's not really, as much into it as she was in season 1.
Yeah, I think at this point she was already working on other TV shows and things.
Well, wait. Have they already gotten told they're getting the axe?
Probably, which is probably
Yeah.
why they had an abbreviated season.
Yeah,
why
I'm
they
sure they were
put-
told at the beginning of the season. That's why I'm sure they knew up front that they were only making a handful. That
Yeah, so that's when
was
they
the
said,
reason why.
"Screw it on the episode. Let's put some shit out."
Or all the scripts that had been rejected up to that point, maybe.
But I remember this episode at least being a little bit funny. So we'll see if
I
it
don't know. I
holds
haven't
up
seen
to
it.
my
I'm
memory
just
of
kidding.
it.
I'm just giving shit. So
I do find it a little endearing that he calls Kirk Captain. I like that.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's kind of unique, right? Kirk Captain instead of Captain.
Yes, I did kind of like his unique way of speaking, which is something you like to see in an alien, something different from us.
Absolutely.
that still doesn't bring it up. That
And
still
Sean
doesn't bring it up.
No, it doesn't. Sean Carter says, thank you. Can't wait to show off the final product. Yes, Sean, we're excited. It looks beautiful. Scogli says, have a good night. Thank you, Scogli. You too.
Yeah.
And Jill, would you like to tell us about your channel before we show the trailer for next week?
Sure, I have a great channel right now with lots of science fiction content. I talk about the original series Star Trek episodes, and I've also talked about a few of the UFO, and I've reviewed all of the Orville with Pop Culture Curator and others, and that was a lot of fun. And I'll continue to go through lots of other things, and we have a show on Friday where we review different things. Last week we reviewed Forbidden Planet. That was cool. Then this week I don't know yet what I'm going to do. Still thinking. And tomorrow I'm going to review the original series with Pop Culture Curator and Scotty R37, and we're going to review the episode Tomorrow is Yesterday.
Yeah.
So that is going to be fun. I really love that episode. It is
Absolutely. And this is a little preview, everybody, of Jill's channel. As you can see, it's beautiful. She has a lot of content. I put a link in the chat to her channel. Please click on that and sub.
Thank you.
Plenty of
Oh,
things
yeah,
to
you're showing
never
it.
get bored from. Yes. Wow,
Mhm.
339 subs. Nice,
Right.
Jill.
True. I just need one more to get to 340. That's fine.
So we need to get Jill to 340. You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. 340 is what we need. And of course, this is just the beginning. I'm sure she's going to get a lot more in no time at all.
Oh, she's going to be over 9,000.
Well, I'm working on trying to learn how to edit and stuff like that. I've done some edited content, but I need to, keep doing it so I can get better at my presentation.
And we will be there for that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Gorilla's Random Thoughts. What say you?
Well, let's see. Well, we are on season 4 of Stranger Things. So if you haven't seen that, we got a watch party on that on Wednesdays before Gilligan's Island, and then on on Fridays there, me and Germ review the Waltons there because we feel that show doesn't get enough love there. So we review we're still in season 1 there, like episode 10 or something like that. Then on Saturdays we're in the middle of season 3 of Babylon 5 for watch parties there. I'll be keeping them going there. And then Sunday there, apparently I forgot there's 5 Saturdays in January, so I have to come up with another dystopian movie. I think me and Jerm had one picked out. I can't remember what it is. But we'll be continuing our dystopian month. But next month we'll be doing movies about dogs. So
Movies about dogs. So nice.
We're gonna have 2 double headers there. We're gonna have a double header of the Shiloh movies, and then a double header of the Homeward Bound. Old Yeller is on the list.
Oh, gotta have Old Yeller.
And
Bud?
oh hell no.
Okay.
The first one, that's all right. Cool concept. Then they had to go ahead and make like 20 more of them.
Very cool. And Scotty, what say you? What do you have with your channel you'd like to share us?
I'm usually hanging out over on the Phantasmagorium show. This Wednesday, we've been covering the Batman movies. We've done the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher foursome. We did the Batman 66, and this Wednesday we're going to be doing a little love for Kevin Conroy, the late great. We're going to be talking about Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and then on Thursdays, Jill and I have been doing a retrospective on Quantum Leap. And so we're in season 2 now, and it is an open panel. Only requirement is that you see the episodes. And then I pop up from time to time. Oh, I'm just a vagrant on the internet. I show up all over the place, but that's what we've been doing lately. And if you'd like to check out our back catalog, we've done all the James Bonds, and we've done a rather lengthy trek, pardon the pun, through Quentin Tarantino's movies, including some of Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, Scotty's channel is the reason why I've seen all of Tarantino except for Jackie Brown. I still didn't go see that.
Very cool. And I also put a link in the chat for Scotty's channel, everybody. Hopefully, if my female spot's working, there should be a link for each person on the panel. Please check out their, as you can see. Oh, it is my pleasure. As you can see, they all have wonderful, beautiful channels to share. Plenty of content to keep you entertained. Plenty of contents not to turn and reasons not to turn on a television set. And I wanted to say,
except for the stuff we're reviewing that we give positive reviews to, then you turn your television set on.
Well, you're right. I guess so. And Dalek says, "Was that a Dragon Ball reference, Scotty?"
Yes, it was.
And Dalek says, "If it was funny." There you go.
Yay!
Wow, there's a Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball Z reference. There you go. And see, I wouldn't know because I'm.
Yeah, well, my brother liked it, but I guess I wasn't paying attention.
I'm aware of it. I think it was trading cards, and I think it was an anime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything any of you would like to share before we show the trailer for next week?
I just thought of one last thing. There was no DeForest Kelley in this episode, and we just recently would have. There was a celebration for what would have been DeForest Kelley's birthday. But the reason I bring up DeForest Kelley, as soon as an alien race beams onto the ship, wouldn't he get a medical examination and you find out he's a colony creature right there? Anyway,
yes, F minus.
Darn it.
Yeah, she's switching hers to an F minus.
No. I'll switch to a C minus.
I guess I was the nicest one on the panel for once. If Jill's giving it an F minus, I guess I was the nicest one. And the only reason it didn't get an F is because I had to watch a shit show of.
You didn't have to.
Well, I ended up to. I did not get forewarned. I'd have to watch 2 cockroaches going at each other. Going at it.
Yeah, that would not be the best of times, I guess.
Oh,
You
dear.
didn't hear about that, Jill?
No, I'm not paying any attention to any of it.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you about it after the stream
Oh,
here.
okay.
Okay, well,
I guess
with that,
maybe I saw still, but I was like,
with that, I wanted to once again thank very, very much sincerely from the bottom of my heart everybody that came in the chat. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. And everybody on the panel, wonderful job. Thank you again. I missed it last week, but we came back in full force this week. And I think next week it'll be better. We're going to be covering the Practical Joker, right?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, but before we go, pop culture, what are you doing tomorrow night and the day after?
Oh, on tomorrow, thank you. On tomorrow, you'll find me on Antiderivative Jill's channel where we will be covering Star Trek. The original series episode tomorrow was yesterday. And then tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific, we're going to be reviewing Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn, the classic from 1987. And Wednesday, Gorilla's Random Thoughts and I will be we'll be doing our weekly Gilligan's Island stream, and we'll have the 2 recent episodes of that. I'm so excited for that. I love Gilligan's Island. Sometimes probably a little too much. And then I should have a random rumblies from the live stream this week if I can dig up some free time and maybe dig up a couple panelists. But yeah, thank you. It was really exciting, and I'm glad you were all here, and I'm glad you were able to share your channels with us. And I'll say it again. I did put links in the chat for everybody's channels that are on the panel, and also everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. We're going to be ending here with if I can get this done right. This will be a preview for next week's episode, The Practical Joker.
Mental. Unusual incidents have continued to plague our crew. Even the perceptive Mr. Spock has fallen victim to these simple-minded pranks.
Captain, I found this device on my console. It seems to serve no useful function, and...
One grilled cheese on right. I said one sandwich, that's all. Somebody turn off this infernal food factory.
And when I put this one on, I discovered this.
This is just what the doctor would have ordered. Engineering's abridged. Emergency.
After them. I want that Federation ship blasted into space dust.